Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Addicts Advocate. I am your host, Dusty Dean, and it is my pleasure to welcome back to the show, Caleb. How are you, my man?
I'm doing great. Yeah, life's going good.
Good, good to see you, man. Good to see you. We've been playing a little bit of tag here, trying to get this interview to happen again. But you actually were on the show about a year ago, and had just had about 26 days worth of sobriety during that time. You unfortunately went through a period where you relapsed again. And we were definitely going to talk about what that relapse experience was like for you, what it took for you to get sober again. Obviously, talk about the longevity that you have now in your sobriety, and what do you feel is different this time around. So, without further ado, man, go ahead and take it away, man. How's life been?
Yeah, life's treating me well because I've been doing the right things, um, continually doing the right things. I mean, I've put myself in a position where life, was going good before. We talked about it on the last podcast. But I mean, just brick by brick, and the bricks are starting to accumulate now, and it's definitely showing. Like you met me right now, you'd have no idea of the demons I've fought in my past. I mean that I still fight. I mean I wouldn't say I fight off urges to drink or anything like that really too often. If the thought crosses my mind, but I have the put in the work to get to this point where even like the thought comes up, it's easily why it's like I laugh at that thought. It's like, yeah, great idea, dude. Like it's life's going good. I know, yeah, you kind of had a few questions in there, but life's going good. And as long as I continue to do the right things, it's it's gonna keep on flowing.
What do you think? I mean, first of all, obviously, I know my reasons as to why I start getting triggered and why I potentially want to relapse. But can you think of what happened during that time frame? Was it an unhappiness? Was it just an opportunity? What took place?
The when I yeah, I think I relapsed like 2 weeks after because I didn't ever think about that, but I think I was at day 40 when I relapsed, and it was my only relapse to where I I was in a bad mood. Like I was working a lot. I mean, easy work. I was serving at Olive Garden, easy stuff. But I was working, 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 and then one day I just had a bad day, and I was staying with my grandmother at the time, and I drove over there, and they weren't home. They went do something, so I couldn't get in the house, and had a rough day. And I even told myself, I was like, if nobody, if because I thought that was going to happen. If nobody's there, I'm going to get a drink. And pulled into the driveway. Nobody was there, and I'm backing out to go get a drink, and they're pulling up. A sign to say, "Hey, bud, it's not the best idea. They're here." But I went drink, and then yeah, I never even went back to work at Olive Garden. Never even went back.
Wow.
Yeah, just got hammered. Yeah, thing had the next day off, but I drank and yeah, never even went back. Got another job. Got sober for a little bit. Got another job. Drank. Didn't show back up. Yeah. But yeah, that was probably the only relapse. Because usually it's like I kind of probably touched on it the last time I would go like a month without drinking. But before that, I wasn't keying on forever sobriety. It was like, hey, let's maybe tone it down, take a break. Trying to rationalize it like that. Because deep down, I knew that I was an alcoholic, but just trying to do whatever I can to rationalize my alcoholism, try to avoid the truth. But it caught up to me. I would reward myself with a drink, in previous times. And yeah,
Mm, mm. Tough, man. Tough. I empathize with all that. I get it. Time is a weird thing for us when we're trying to deal with recovery and addiction, because we're so hyper aware, right? We're so hyper aware of almost every ticket that every second that ticks by, and it becomes dangerous. So what ends up happening sometimes, right, is we'll find something else to do to occupy our time, and really what's happening is we're just distracting, right? We're just distracting ourselves. Obviously, we I've done this many a times to myself. Hey, I've justified it. I had a bad day. I deserve it. I'm going to reward myself, and I'm going to have control. And you know what? Right? You may
Mm.
pull it off for that night, have one or two, but then the next day it's another two, and then the next day it's four, and then it gets, how that system works. Rationalization. I know that as soon as I start rationalizing, what I've recognized that I'm far enough away from sobriety as far as my recovery date, and I recognize that this is the disease now playing games with me again. Because I mean, I had pretty decent stints where I was 6 years twice, recovery, and but again, I didn't have any education behind me. I didn't understand what this thing was doing to me. I tried to rationalize it, and you can't, and the guilt and the shame wants to take over, right? We know that, and so what ends up happening is like we become a recluse real quick again, right? We just start isolating, we start drinking, we start not wanting to deal with our shit. We want to just manage our pain. Um, and so you went through it sounds like you went through another two quick relapses and then came out of it, right? And because you're 280 so days, right?
Yeah, 282. But yeah, I relapsed, and then I got. I don't even know how long I was like I would relapse. I can't exactly remember how long I was drinking. But like I said, I didn't go back to Olive Garden. I drank for however long. I sobered up again, basically to get a job. Like I remember, I was shaking, and I bought a pint on the way to my interview so I wasn't shaking. Didn't end up drinking on the way back. That was I was planning on it, but incidentally, I was staying with my grandmother and her two daughters, so my two aunts, and I'm driving home, fully planning on stopping and getting some more drink on my way home, but she had turned behind me, so I didn't get the chance to. So I was like, all right, guess I'm sober. Guess I'm sober now. Um, and that lasted 18 days, and yeah, then at that point I remember having the thought, like I came to terms with my alcoholism. Like I was like, all right, I'm just an alcoholic. I'm just an alcoholic, and that's what I am. And I'll live on the streets. Like I literally had that thought, which looking back now is like wild. But I remember sitting there thinking like, this is it just is what it is. And like you were saying earlier, how in active addiction we're not thinking straight, you know, not whatsoever. Because I mean you aren't. But but yeah, I completely accepted the fact. I mean, I guess not completely because here I am today, but I was, yeah, damn near gave up on the whole sobriety thing. But like a quote I like, and I probably even said on the last one, is a winner is a loser who tried one more time.
Hmm, I love
I
it.
love that quote because like I'm not a loser, but was I a loser the past few years? 100%. I was a loser, an absolute loser. Um, but I'm winning again. So.
I wouldn't say loser. I would just say struggling, man, struggling. You know, and we have the ability to shame the shit out of ourselves in this, man, and we got to stop because that negative self talk, right, is what's a killer too, right? Um, Take it for the disease. Um, but I love it. Yeah, I mean, you're still here. You're still struggling. You're fighting the good fight, and you're right. I mean, when I heard you just say that, I'm like, our brains become so irrational, so irrational. I remember telling my wife on my last night that how much did you have to drink? And I said not enough, and this was after I had already drove home, blitzed to the wind, dropped a couple grand at the casino, have very vague memories of any of it, and I mean, I was at the point where I'd had a DUI, but I was fine with it. If the 2008 DUI didn't do it to me, well, then you know what? The 2022 or 23 one will. And I sat there, and again, it's just like the justifications that we make to ourselves, the rationalizations. It's scary. But people need to hear this. People need to hear exactly what you just said just now, because I had a recent guest who talked about this because she was homeless. I mean, and this woman was literally like mom, family, everything was legit. She ended up getting some surgery and ended up taking opioids, and was came out of the surgery, was stopped taking opioids, started feeling like shit, and then started taking opioids again, felt like a brand new person, and that started her path to ultimately dismantling her family, to making her homeless. And she ultimately said that she had succumbed to it as well. She recognized her for what she was, and she was okay with it. I mean, she sat there and said, "This is what my life's going to be." And her hope was basically at the moments of basically falling off and never recovering. But she actually got pregnant while she was homeless. And that was the one thing that drove her to keep going forward, right? If I can give you any sort of wisdom, man, from what I heard from your family when you were going through your relapse, is that, because your family obviously reached out to me, um, is that they love you so much, man. They love you so much, and they're scared, obviously, and they don't know what they can do to help you. And that's the thing that I know, just that my family, I saw it in my family's eyes looking at me when I was in active addiction. And so, you know, your life is about right now is self-care, right? You got to take care of yourself, right? And taking care of yourself means staying in your recovery, right? Going to your meetings, right? Being thankful for the things that you have, expressing gratitude that you did make it out of those alive, right? Because some unfortunately don't, or they come out of it, but they've got massive consequences that are, that are reciprocations from those actions, right? Like, unfortunately, maybe getting a DUI, or hurting someone, or, hurting yourself, irreparably. Um, and those are facts of what happens to us, right? In this struggle that we deal with. Yeah, it was, in being in recovery and being an addict and recognizing, now being on this side, trying to help others. And, because I've dealt with some things locally in my sobriety group where people have needed help and everything else, is that it can take me down the rabbit hole with you guys, right? It can start overwhelming me because I feel for you. I'm in pain, um, just as much as your family is, and at the same time, it's like I can't. I have to take care of myself too, right? So we have to keep an arm's length, right, just to maintain our own sanity, as much as we watch, somebody that we care about hurting. Um, and so in your sobriety, you're going to probably come across these things now. You'll see it on the other side from being on this side, and you'll start to get it even more. It took me over a year before I actually saw that. I actually was, interacting with active addiction from a truly sober perspective. And it was eye opening for me. It was part of the education in recovery, because we don't know what we're like when we're in that state. So yeah, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you that you've went through all this, that you kept on getting yourself back up, that you wanted to keep on telling your story to the world, because this is where it's at. It's you and I. From what I understand now, though, I think you got yourself a pretty cool job, right? What are you doing now with your days?
Yeah, I work in the oil field now. I'm on days off. I work a 28-14 schedule. I'm out in Ohio, Pennsylvania area working. I live in Louisiana, for those that don't know. But yeah, it's hard work. I tell you that much. But when I come home, I don't got really nothing to do but hang out, go golfing. Um, but yeah, it's a good thing about the job is, even if I did have thoughts to drink at work, there's no time. There's barely enough time to eat, shower, and go to bed. And you won't, even if you, yeah, you're not getting 8 hours of sleep regardless. So, um, no point of wasting a relapse on that. That's just a joke. But yeah, it's a pretty good gig. It's a, yeah, and it's taking care of me for sure, and it's another thing that's keeping me sober, because like I just can't. And like, what have I learned from the last relapse? I mean, do I know the same things that I knew then? Yes. I mean, I knew a drink would do me in, took it anyways. But I think right now what's different for me, and in this sobriety, I don't even want to say the word stint. And what's different now is I think I just needed that one more lesson. I didn't want it, but I needed it. I guess I needed that I just can't drink. And like how you touched on control, like, yeah, I can control the for the tonight. Like the guys at work, it's a well known fact at my job that I don't drink. It's I'm very open about my sobriety. If you talk to me for 30 minutes, somewhere or another, my sobriety is coming up because it's just a big part of my life. It's a part of my story. It just is what it is, and I'm so open about it. It just kind of comes up naturally. But a guy the other day at work was like, you can't just have a few drinks. And I'm like, yeah, tonight, yeah, I can. Tomorrow, I have one more, two more, and then, I mean, you know how it goes. The next a few days, I'm right in the thick of it, right where I left off, and it's just something I'm not willing to do. Uh,
Yeah.
no, thank you. And I mean, said it before, still drank, but this time is it's just wildly different. I don't look. I'm truly taking it one day at a time, instead of because I used to be like, man, am I really never going to drink again for the rest of my
Right.
life? That sucks. Like that sucks. Like, because I mean, do I wish I could drink? Yeah, I do. To be completely honest, I wish I could drink like a normal person, but it's just not the case for me, and I accept that. Um, it's just, but one day at a time. One day at a time. I'm not gonna drink. Like somebody asked me the other day, "Is this gonna be forever?" I said, "I don't know, but I can." I said, "I don't know, but I'm not drinking today. Not drinking today."
That's it.
You ask me tomorrow, I'll tell you the same thing. I'm not gonna drink today. There's not a drink in my hand right now. I'm doing good. You know, once there's not a drink in my hand, I'm doing good.
It's wisdom, man. You're preaching wisdom because this is one of the most important things. Because I hung up on it for a long time. You're telling me I can't do all these fun things I used to do for the rest of my life, and yeah, you gotta just whoa, cool the jets here. Let's just go tomorrow. Let's start
Right.
today. Start today. Um, and in early recovery, it's good to be busy, right? You got to be busy because unless you, especially I can imagine with your work scenario, right? You might have yourself a little bit more difficulty getting to meetings and stuff when you're on the site. I mean, obviously when you're home, you have a little bit more opportunity, but it is good to be busy, right? Where you don't have the opportunity to sit and ponder, if you want to drink. Um, I do think it's important that we instill humor into what we're dealing with, right? Because this is something that's trying to kill us, and so let's find a little joy, little laughter into it. I like to tell people, hey, I went pro and retired early. That's my
Right.
reality with my alcohol, man. And I don't ever crave it, but I have triggers that remind me of why I did it. It's as simple as that, right? I have weird triggers now, and I mean, you could put me at a bar, everybody's drinking everything else, and I'm completely fine. You can have alcohol in the house, completely fine. We don't, but I'm saying you could. I mean, but I don't. And I can go to a barbecue. People are drinking, doesn't bother me. But you give me a stressful event, and then like 4 hours later, my body's still kind of feeling weird from it. Um, that's going to make me go, this is when I had a stressful day at work, right? Like what you did, right? Stressful day at work. I'm going on my way to the liquor store to take the edge off, and what starts as something innocent becomes because I've done that. I've done that many times. I've gotten hammered on a Saturday night, right? And going never again, right? And going, look, I lasted all week long, no alcohol. See, I don't have a problem, so I can go out with the boys on Friday night. Well, you really were just probably still hung over for 5 days.
Mhm.
That's why, you were feeling like didn't want to drink. I got to tell you though, physically looking at you, dude, I'm going, dude, healthy looks good on you, man. It looks like you got some cannons going. I can't really tell here, man, but you're looking
Yeah.
like
Well,
you're healthy, man. So the oil fields are treating you right, man. That's a good thing.
yeah. I did get a lot. I got some good workouts in rehab. Yeah, I don't know if we discussed this, but I did go to inpatient rehab.
Good for you.
I did detox again, and then went to a rehab after, and then I did a sober living for 3.5 months before I got
Awesome,
this.
man.
Yeah, I think that's what really another thing that really boosted this sobriety and kept my head on straight is after like because I still couldn't even if I wanted to drink in the sober living house. Where am I going to go after? Where am I going to go if I do drink? So um, yeah, I was waiting tables in Baton Rouge, just working out and waiting tables. That's all I was doing. Um, but I, yeah, sober living I do recommend. I never put much thought at all into it, but
Okay.
and I mean in my case, I didn't have anywhere else to go. So it was sober living was like I had no choice but to follow every rule. Um, but I think the sober living just carried me through the like because you get the pink cloud, some that's right around then I guess, but like that's right. The 40-50 day mark is usually where I'm like, okay, life's going good again. I'm good. I can maybe have a drink, but at this time it wasn't an option. And then I got this job. That's why I left the sober living house. They didn't want me. I couldn't stay there and be gone for months at a time. So I left. I mean, I wasn't kicked out or nothing. I had the choice to stay, but I'm not going to pass up the opportunity on this job. Um, but but yeah, the sober living, it really, and then people did relapse in the sober living house, and it's like, nah, I don't want that to be me. I feel for them, but like, you learn through other people's relapses sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, and because I mean, you do. Somebody else, like I was in a meeting the other day at the rehab I went to, and there's a guy who I saw him and I was like, hey man, what's up? How you doing? But he was in the rehab, like because the meetings were at the rehab, um, and he was like not doing good, man. I'm in here, and he told his story, kind of how I was saying on the last podcast, how if I drink, everything's gone, and he kind of was telling his story of like where I'm at right now in my life and how he slipped up and everything's gone and he's right back in there, so like that stuck with me. Um,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, it's sucks, but you
Mm.
you can learn through. I mean, you can learn through other people's mistakes. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah. You bring up a good point. Um, I remember like the first week or so I was in my inpatient, and I realized I'm like, oh, this isn't just 30 days of my life. I probably need to go do something afterwards for a period of time. And then obviously this needs to be a part of my life for the rest of my life if I'm going to be successful in it. And I go, oh, I see why people don't even start this process then, because they're going, I can maybe give you 30 days in a detox, but I'm sure it's only giving you 90 to 120 days. And so people shut themselves down to the opportunity of getting better, getting well. And I want people to understand that that's the thing with sobriety and recovery. You got to be in it. You're never going to leave it. And that's why I've chosen to do this, because I have a sober group. I have an aftercare program that I attend, and a great group of people who are all dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with. And on top of that, I keep on talking to people about it. I keep on finding ways to continue to break these barriers down and just recognize it, for a medical condition, and let's get well from it. I left my 30-day detox, was fired up, and I got home, and within like day two, I was like freaking out because I was like so raw from it all, and I literally felt like I realized that I could stop drinking, but I didn't realize how I could really sustain not drinking. And I think that's the key. And so I immediately, fortunately, I already had an IOP set up, before I left, and I ended up becoming again like almost like a raw learner again about this addiction, about what addiction was. And that's keeps me humble. It lets me recognize that this thing is cunning, powerful, and baffling, and it will jack with you for the rest of your days. And unfortunately, it does get progressive. And if you do relapse as you age, sometimes those get nastier, um, and because you are dysregulated. And so but don't be afraid of it. People are like, my life's already busy. I don't have the time to sit here and devote, a section of my life to my sobriety or recovery, or whatever you want to call it. It's like, well, it's not that difficult. Think of all the time that you used to spend drinking or using. You've stopped that. Look at all the time you have back now, right? So why don't you just spend a little time in recovery, and you're going to find that it's a beautiful thing. As far as mental health, how are you feeling?
I feel great. Luckily, I've never had struggles with that. The only, I mean, with like with I mean, with the alcoholism came the anxiety, and
depression. Yeah.
depression maybe, but when I'm sober, I'm good. Like
Okay.
all is well. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I'm I like to call myself the vibes guy at work. Let's have
Yeah.
a great day. Y'all. It sucks we're out here. I'm tired. You're tired. It's about to be a long day, but hell, let's have a good one. Let's have a good day. But yeah, I'm a generally happy dude.
Misery loves company. That's the way I put it with guys at my work. Like, hey, at least we're enduring this together. As far as love interests, anything going on? How you feeling about all that in your life? What's
Um, I think I got something going on. I guess the
cool?
future will tell me, but
Yeah.
go and see her tomorrow. So
Good deal. Hey, that's good. That's good. Obviously, you're raw and open with her.
yeah, from the get go,
Yeah.
because I'm just open about it, and yeah, I'm sober now. I mean, because yeah, it's one of the other day. Because I'll tell a story and I'll be like, yeah, I was drunk, or oh, I was hungover that day, and she was like, she one time she was like, you weren't an alcoholic, you were an alcoholic, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, uh, like it's, I'm, because yeah, people say they're alcoholics as a joke, but not a true alcoholics don't say they're alcoholics unless they're recovering. Really, for the most part, I guess I've never met a true alcoholic that's like, yeah, I'm an alcoholic. I mean, maybe I was that guy. I don't know, but still denying it because if I'm joking about it, I don't actually believe it. I guess I don't know, but but yeah, I'm very open about that. And yeah, that's what I was gonna. She was like, I wouldn't have talked to you if I knew you then. I was like, I wouldn't have talked to me either. Uh, I was a piece of shit. But yeah, things are going good. Things are going good.
Good for you, man. Hey, but you know what? And when it's all said and done, now you can look at somebody who's struggling with different eyes, man. And it's there's a lot of growth and enrichment in life with just understanding that there's a lot of us in this world that are masking issues, right? They're doing their best just to fit in and get on with life because nobody's got the time to hear it. That nobody wants to go to therapy and work on themselves. Everybody wants to just muscle through and be strong and not be a burden. And you know what? Um, it's like I look at it this way, right? If my kids had something that were burdensome in their life and they neglected to come to tell me about it, I think I failed. I straight up think I failed at that point. And I mean, it goes the same with our friends and stuff. It's like, hey, we should be raw with each other, because there's connection that happens right when we're open and we're vulnerable, and there's also a strength that comes with it. Caleb, this has been great, bud. I'm like so fired up for you. I've been dying to have this conversation with you. We've been playing tag. I was very much saying prayers for you, bud, back when your family was calling me because I could just hear the fear and the scaredness, in just their voices. And I was doing my best to coach them from afar, talking to them about rehabs and recovery opportunities. But make sure you give those beautiful women in your life, a big hug from me, okay? And they should all be proud of you, man, just as much as I am. And it's congrats, man. Keep going, man.
Yep, one day at a time. I live my life by that. Like it's my lock screen on my phone, and it's like even at work, one day at a time. Just get through this shift, and you're good. Tomorrow, worry about it tomorrow. Just get through today.
Yeah,
Relax. But yeah, I live my
yeah,
life by that. One day at a time.
that's it, brother. Um, Well, please keep me in the loop. We'll keep in contact like we do. And I will definitely maybe we'll do a 6 month in another 6 months after you get your full year under your belt, and we'll revisit and find out how things are going on with you. Okay.
Hell yeah, October 11th is a year.
October 11th, it's coming. Love it. Awesome,
Crazy.
brother. Will you take care? Okay, bud.
Copy that. You as well.